Okay, welcome back from lunch. Marko Golem has been a presenter, I think, at every CIDC since Denver, right? Since the first one?
Yeah.
In 2010?
Denver,
yeah. And he will again be presenting on ThinAt, the thin client software for Clarion. So please welcome Marko.
Thank you, everyone. Nice to see you again. I'll be presenting today the new things that come in ThinAt 3.2 and the new product we also have. So the presentation will be separated into two parts. So let's just walk slowly and hopefully more people will come. So what's new in ThinAt? Clarion 10 support, that's obvious. So when you install a new ThinAt, it will automatically recognize the Clarion 10 and install appropriate files. The Net Manager Server Diagnostic Tool, this is a neat tool that people have been requesting for some time. And it should make ThinAt installation much simpler than it's now. So when you open the ThinAt folder and you open Net Manager utility, you'll have a small button here, Diagnostic. This screen, basically when you install a ThinAt server, you will always run this screen and run all the tests. The tool will then try to find any problems with the installation. And each of that problem can be solved by clicking appropriate fix button. So, user access control, firewall, default printer, login credentials, auto login feature, everything what ThinAt needs to be done on a system level in Windows will be done from this screen. In past, you should investigate the documentation, find all the errors that trouble you on different versions of Windows. But in this version, you have it all in one place automatically. This should simplify installation of ThinAt, especially on different operating systems, different type of servers, etc. Very neat utility. Okay, the new Java client that comes with ThinAt 3.2 have many improvements. Besides those improvements, it now supports SVG controls. SVG are very powerful vector scalable graphic controls used in Java to display vector graphic. So, to best represent I will show you an application, an active application we are using that use these controls. It's an analytics application, and the best way to show you what is possible to be done with ThinAt is to just show you the application itself. The application is run with the Java client and ThinAt. The server is in Europe, so I'm just connecting remotely with Java client by simply using the web address of the server. When I use the link, the application will open using the applet in the browser. And using the Java applet in the browser and just drawing the screen in the browser. Okay. As you see here, this is Clarion application, but it's replicated inside a Java Swing component. So everything you see is coded in Clarion. So we have a menu frame and analytics window. This component here in the middle of the screen is the image control in Clarion. This component here, that's an image control that has SVG XML text added to it. What we do with this, draw a graph using dimensions. For example, supplier, with supplier amount, I get tables. This is a normal Clarion browse. Now I'm requesting the visual representation using SVG. I'm going to get a graph. Look at how fast it is. This SVG is a simple file. So what you can do with it, you can create a simple SVG XML that has thousands of vector components, like boxes, images, texts, and everything. It supports script too, so you can code JavaScript inside. If I come with the mouse over this box, I see a tooltip. This is JavaScript tooltip on it. If I right-click it, you'll see a Java code hiding and hiding behind components. So this is all JavaScript. The component can be scrolled very fast and zoomed in, zoomed out. Oops, I think I zoomed out the browser interface. Yeah, that's a problem. If you release the shift button and scroll up and down, you'll scroll up and down the browser. So you need to pay attention. I'm just going to reload. So this is a neat feature of ThinNet Thin2. It supports SVG components with the JavaScript. So what you could do with it, the boundaries are unlimited. This is what we did with this feature. I'm just going to do a few more graphs. For example, this graph, or maybe a dashboard that has multiple components on it. So Clarion can draw complex things with it. That's the general idea. You don't have to draw your application in .NET to get this functionality. You can do it in Clarion. Okay, enough about ThinNet. Now we're going to talk about the new product we have that works with ThinNet and outside of ThinNet. That's the general idea. It's called GUI Manager, and it has new resizing algorithm integrated in it. Basic idea behind this template set is that with these modern metro-style applications, all applications tend to be full screen. I saw Bruce talking about it before as well. So the general idea is how to create easily, out of the box, full screen applications in Clarion. How to resize all of your components properly, automatically, without the need to code anything. This set of templates allows you to do that. Okay, first I'm going to show a demo application using it. And then I'm going to open standard Clarion invoice application and add that template to it so you can see how it's easily integrated inside your app. The demo app is on the same server. It's a very complex app procurement solution. I just wanted to show you how the window stretch on it. Okay, first thing about the GUI Manager, it does the resizing, but it does more. It gives you the new GUI graphic user interface in Clarion that's separate from the standard interface. First, there is an MDI toolbar. This MDI toolbar here is not the Clarion standard MDI toolbar. This is newly created window from GUI Manager. You will notice that it doesn't extend to the beginning of the screen. It starts here. Second thing you will notice that the window merges with the toolbar. There is no window title here. So you get this merged metro-style interface with this template, simply by adding it to your application. This here is a Clarion menu. So the Clarion menu automatically transforms into this toolbar. This toolbar is a tree-type toolbar. So if we have multiple levels here, when we click it, it will expand. Important thing to say here, that by right-clicking on the toolbar, we got set of options. For example, we can enable top side toolbar together with sidebar toolbar, and then your application will redraw completely with the top and left toolbar. I can disable, for example, the left toolbar, and then only the top toolbar will remain. And the top toolbar will draw all the menu you created in Clarion in multiple levels, like this. So that's the general idea. You notice how your entire window infrastructure resizes every time I change this. I'm just going to put it back in default mode. I'm just going to show you later how to integrate this into your own app. Let me open a few more windows. Notice that the window stretch always to occupy full window size. These windows are very small in Clarion. They are like this size. And they just stretch to occupy full window size automatically. That's the general idea. You design your windows in Clarion accommodating one resolution. For example, 1024/640 or something similar to that. And then this template automatically will stretch your screens to a higher resolution screens. That's the general idea. And it does very good. For example, if I open here, I'll open some complex screen. This one, look at how many components it has. It has around 300 components. Notice the vertical scroll bar here. Because the application itself is designed in a higher resolution than this resolution we are going in, we get a vertical scroll because it won't stretch to a lower resolution than you designed it originally. We could work on that in the newer versions where you could actually shrink the application itself, but it's not logical because general idea is that you create the smallest application it can be and then it stretches. But we could work on even shrinking the application. Look at the tabs on the left side. When I click it, the entire screen will change. Those are the tabs from the same screen. So this is a demo of a very complex application that automatically resize on a different resolution desktops. This is just to prove the concept of the resizer itself. Notice the maximize button here. If I click it, your application will scale to occupy entire area, toolbars will disappear, and the normal Clarion menu will be presented at the top. That's the idea behind the GUI manager. Now I will show you how to integrate the GUI manager into your application. Here we have a normal invoice app. Okay, let me just show you it's a normal invoice app. Okay, these are 3 screens we're going to aim for as a basic application screens, 3 browsers. So what we're going to do first, we're going to, for GUI manager to work, it needs to have ThiNet added as global extension. It will work without ThiNet, but it uses some functions from ThiNet. So at this point, you just need to add ThiNet globally. Maybe if people request in the future, maybe we completely separate the products. So you don't have to add ThiNet at all. But at this point, overhead is not that big. So it's not a big problem to just add it. First, we're going to use ThiNet scale option here. Enable window scaling. This is option separated from the GUI manager. And it will automatically scale font on your screens. So usually you choose a font. This feature will, look at the screen now. It's bigger than before. What it does, it's automatically recognizing the resolution on the display, and it's increasing the font size on the window to that extent that the window will still fit on the screen. This is important because when you design your application, you usually use a very small font. And then you need to have an option for your users to change that font. This way, it's automatic. Your users will have the screen big as their monitor. That's the first thing I would like to turn on. So it's optional. I always turn it. So people are happy because their screens are always big. Second option is to turn on the GUI manager and the resizer. So globally, you add a GUI manager and you say enable resizer. This will automatically disable Clarion default resizer and enable the new resizer logic. And we can see here, all my windows are single. I'm just going to change them. For example, the customer window. I'm just going to make it resizable so I can show that the window is now resized automatically. Okay, I'm going to use resizing. Notice how the window resizes without losing any form. Notice how buttons are not scaling. They're same, but this is resizing to occupy more space. Look at the columns in the read. They're automatically scaling as well. So your entire window is auto-scaling to a new resolution. And you don't have to do anything. For example, this window, check the components. They all keep their form, but the window resizes. That's the general idea. Now, I'll enable the tool manager. You do that by going into the frame, extension, GUI manager, and say add window menu to GUI toolbar. Then, on Visual tab, you say, I don't want to display upper toolbar. This is optional. You can tweak it as well you want. Just display the sidebar. And here you say what's the first menu it will open on. Okay, now when I compile it, I'll get Clarion menu disappears, and I get the tool. That's the general idea. I click it. I can change that I want to see up as well. So the browse tree is only one level, and second level is drawn upstairs. When I open my window, that's the same window from before. I have the MDI toolbar interface up and the window down. Now I want to enable the full screen stretching. So what I do, I go to the window, extension, thin it, and I say to maximize this window by width and height. I don't use maximize windows. Why? They are and they merge with the outer frame. This way, Thinet will resize the window to occupy only the visible area. So that's the way we do it. We just make Thinet extend the window by width and height, by maximum width. In addition to that, we change the window to double. Why? Because we want window to lose its title. We want it to merge with the MDI toolbar. We go to extension and say, hide window title, and we are done. Now when I compile the app and open the custom screen, the screen is open full screen, automatically with the MDI toolbar. That's the general idea. So with few clicks, you can transform your app into a full screen metro application. And it works with the Thinet, with the client, and in browser. Let me do the same for the other three windows. Double, extension, hide, Thinet, extend. The product, hide, extend. Okay, now all three windows are designed to be full screen. Other windows are not. So when I open the customer screen and its form, the form is not full screen. I can still resize it to some point. This is the interface we are aiming for. The main browsers will be full screen. The forms below it might be full screen if they are big enough. If not, they don't have to be. auto rescaling. I'll open all 3 windows. So this is the interface we're having now here. If I press full screen button, it will occupy full screen. Now, we have, for example, to show some of the features inside the resizer itself. You can tweak it. You can influence it at many points. For example, here, I have an image. By default, images won't resize with this resizer, except if they are background images. So if you put a background image on your window, it will resize. But if you put a photograph like here, the resizer will automatically detect that it's a normal picture and it won't resize. If you, however, wanted to resize, you would go here to a window, click Actions on the image itself, go to GUI Manager, Control Resize Options, and you have many features here. You can actually change the way resizer is working. For example, I can say, resize this control horizontally, resize vertically. Let's run this. Okay, what we have here now, the picture resized. But notice how we lost aspect ratio. The picture, because it had more height than width, because the lizard, it's now stretched. So we change that. We want to say, okay, picture, but keep aspect ratio between horizontal and vertical line. Go here, and we say keep aspect ratio on this. We run it. Notice how it is now properly resized. This is some part of the functionality. For example, imagine you want like this list box. For example, you want to say, okay, extend this list box by only 50%. Everything in the image control. You could go here, list box component, maximum width 50%. So all these options you can actually influence. You can give an anchor to control. You can say this control always anchors to this control. So if resizer decides that it will anchor differently, you can influence. That's the main trick behind this screen. Just crashed. Nice. Okay. Let me just show you how it browser. The same application. Let me see that. Yeah. Let's do one more thing on a mainframe. Let's add a first window to open automatically. That's how I always do it with my app. I just start a window on a window open. So immediately when we open the first window that we want to see first will open. This is the idea. Let's now start the same application in a browser with Finet. So we see how that same app works with Java client. Okay, invoice app. Is my path okay? I'm just going to start it. Interface. And I think, okay, here it is. This is our same app in Java. So everything we design in Clarion is now replicated inside the Java applet. See, Java is a little bit more kind to users, so it draws background shadows on the windows and stuff like that you don't see in Clarion, but you'll see that window resizing is working. So basically a replica of our application immediately in Java using the new toolbars. That was the general idea of the presentation. And to feel like how the new resizer and GUI manager is looking. So if you think your application need an interface like this is the template you will be using. So we are going from a simple Clarion MDI application into a Metro-style toolbar full-screen application. That's the general idea. That's transfer what we wanted to achieve. Few more things in ThiNet 3.2. The scrolling is even further improved, and it works automatic. For example, if I scroll here on the left side, only time when I stop, the window will refresh. If I scroll down and stop, window will refresh. This is a very neat optimization. This is what users were doing for a long time. Because when you have lots of list boxes on the screen, the refresh is slow. Even on the database level, ThiNet will not allow the new selection happens on a browse. So even if you have multiple list boxes attached to a main browse, the code behind it won't execute until you release the scrolling button. So even the database actions are automatically increased in speed. So only when I release this button, the window will refresh. So I can scroll freely on a single list box, very fast, without losing performance either from database or from drawing on the screen. That's a very neat optimization in ThiNet. Okay, that's done. What's coming next year? Due to public demand, we think that ThiNet has been a very successful product. Many people are using it, especially a large Clarion users that have very big complex applications, very expensive applications. They have very big need for ThiNet. The smaller your company is, the need is lesser, unfortunately. I don't know why it's that, but it seems that small companies still achieve to sell client-server software. Bigger companies just want a 3-tier architecture that ThiNet allows. We are thinking that we want to give all Clarion users a chance to use ThiNet. So we are changing this subscription program. 2 more minutes. Okay. The ThiNet in the next year won't be licensed per server. There will be a year subscription, similar to what you're now experiencing with most Clarion templates. Once you pay a subscription for that year, you will have chance to have unlimited server licenses. So you can add as many servers, you can license as many servers you like with a single subscription. You have rights to upgrade and you have rights to support. This will significantly lower the price compared to other products like RDP because they are all licensed per server. Even ThiNet was cheaper than most of those products. Now, for smaller companies, ThiNet will be even more accessible than it is. Don't forget that with this subscription, you get a Java client, you get skinning template. I didn't show that here, but a normal Windows client in Clarion, this is a normal Windows client. I'm going to run it from my desktop. Has a skin option here. So with the skin option, you can change the skin of your application automatically by just choosing it in the drop-down menu. You can download new skins, and your entire app can look differently. All that you get with a single subscription from ThiNet. That's very important. That's what we are changing next year, and that's a great announcement. Well, our time is out. Any questions? No?
Any questions?
No questions.
Pricing per user.
With the subscription user, you pay a year subscription, and you get unlimited amount of users you can use within it. So
the subscription is not per user,
no,
it's per site.
Subscription is per company, for you.
Per company. So we
If
pay
you
one
buy,
fee.
all your products get a ThiNet license.
So one price for that company,
Yes.
whether they have 10 users or 1,000.
Yeah, that's the idea.
And the same price will be for small companies and large companies.
At this point, yeah, because the price will not be that big. We want ThiNet to become a mainstream product. That's why the price model is just set for everyone can use it.
And how much is not that big?
Well, look at this way. A big company and a small company, if you have 5 developers, you will use 5 Clarion licenses, isn't it? But even a big company can have like 10 developers, and a small company can have 10 developers. And they pay practically the same. So expect a single server license that you pay now will be the new subscription price.
And what is, I'm sorry, what is the single server license?
It scales from $300 to $800, I think,
Okay.
depending of the user amount.
Okay,
Average that, and you'll get a new subscription price,
okay, thank you.
approximately.
Anyone else? Hey, well, thank you again, Marko, for
you.
another excellent presentation.
Thank you.